So, welcome to another episode of the Berserker Naked Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Smith Claus, and tonight I'm actually having a little better. I'm having a little better day than I had yesterday. Sorry if I scared you guys a little bit. It was just one of those kind of days, and I felt like something just wasn't right, you know? And there are times in my life when I realized to myself that things have got to change. I think we're going to call this the Berserker Naked Burp podcast. I'm very burpy tonight. I've had a lot of caffeine and stuff today. I don't know. I do like Wendy's chicken nuggets, man. I actually like them a lot better than McDonald's. Yeah. Really? So I find it so funny that you can tell that the St. Cloud PD are out looking for people. Well, not looking for people, but they're out basically getting their quota. Yeah. They're on the move. I'm heading down to the airport, and I'll tell you, wow. I'll tell you, wow, what a night. So far, I got home. So I was at home tonight. I slept pretty much until about like 4, 5 in the afternoon. Woke up and then I went back to bed. And I got milk and stuff from Quick Trip. Bought 4 cartons, like 4 jugs. I bought 2 chocolate and 2 regular. And I just sat there and I'd been drinking the chocolate milk for a couple days. I drank 1 chocolate milk down, and then I have another one I'm working on right now. And that I'm drinking slowly and everything else. I'm realizing to myself that I don't eat much at home anymore, and I know that sucks, but, and it's also, I don't know why. I don't know why I don't eat at home much. I haven't really figured out why I don't do that. It just kind of bothers me a little bit, you know? Like, the other day I was just sitting there, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, it's like, you know, I don't eat at home much at all. And I don't really understand why that is, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. I just don't understand what the hell my problem is and what I do. But it's just one of those things that I do, and it just kind of like makes me realize something about myself that most people don't understand, is that when you do stuff, when you go through life and you think about things, you really don't think about what you want to do with your life until it's like right on top of you. Well, and you know, and sometimes I go out to eat and I think to myself, there was a time that I could eat like so much food, and now all of a sudden I can't. You know? And I hate myself for doing that, because I go out and I eat, and then I just want to eat, you know, enough to fill me up. Not so much to, you know, to kill me. I haven't really ever figured that out. And sometimes I get really scared that I'm gonna buy, like I'm gonna, you know, eat my last cheeseburger or something like that. You know, I'm gonna go to like a McDonald's or Wendy's. I'm gonna buy a cheeseburger and then all of a sudden I'm gonna die. Because sometimes I just feel like, I think to myself, I'm like, you know, what the hell's wrong with me? Why do I eat so much? But I only eat when I'm hungry. Like, I'll go to, like, I haven't eaten all day, and like, I won't eat all day, and then I'll just, you know, sit there and I'll be like, God, I'm hungry and I want to eat something. So I go to Wendy's and get like 2 cheeseburgers, you know, like 2 Dave's doubles with bacon, and then some nuggets. And I'll only eat 1 burger, and then I'll eat the nuggets and I'll be good. And then I think to myself, God, if I didn't get that other one, I wouldn't have spent so much money. You know? Moon looks nice tonight. Big old orange moon. Yeah. Yeah, it was a blood moon, I think is what it is. I don't know if it's a blood moon or a harvest moon or whatever the hell it is. I don't know all those spiritual signs or anything like that. I just drive the van. Maybe it's God trying to tell you something. Maybe it's a sign. So I was talking to myself the other night, and I'm into this really weird kind of fetish. I'm into like female muscle growth, like FMG is what it's called. And I don't know about you, but if I was a guy and my girlfriend or my wife, I came home and she like started expanding and her arms started getting really bigger, and like, you know, her chest and her body and everything got really muscular, I would sit there and I'd be like, damn, someone hit the gym, you know, and I would probably not freak out. I'd probably go over to her and I'd probably caress her in oil, take care of her body, and just be there for her, because I think that she would do the same for me if I was to Hulk out. But I've noticed a little bit about like on so I'm on DeviantArt. It's a website that they have like artwork and stuff that's really cool, and I'm on DeviantArt, and I like female muscle. I like female muscle growth and couples. So like I like bodybuilder couples, like guys that are just jacked, and then they have a wife that's the same way. Yeah. And yeah. So I like bodybuilder couples. Yeah. And I'm a power lifter. I'm nothing, dude. No. I'm not a power lifter. I'm just a fat fuck who doesn't want to work out and doesn't know how to go to the gym. I'm actually thinking about finally giving in and joining a gym. Now, there's this gym in St. Cloud called the Powerhouse Gym, and there's girls that lift there and there's guys that lift there, but they also have powerlifting. So one of my favorite bodybuilders, or one of my favorite powerlifters, is Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall is this guy he's like one of the world's strongest men, but he's been beat out by I think he's been beat out by the Mountain, the guy who played the Mountain on Game of Thrones. I think he's been beat out by him or Brian Shaw. I can't remember, but I don't really care. Powerlifters and strongmen are amazing people. I would love to be a strongman. I would love to be like one of the world's strongest men, to be able to lift very strong weight above my head and know that I can do it when I have adrenaline rushing through me, or when I have something rushing through me. I mean, I grab people's luggage bags one-handed and I just throw them in the van like they're nothing. But I am a power lifter, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a person who can lift a lot of weight above his head like one or two times. I want to know that I can lift a car if I ever need to. Like if a car fell down on somebody, like grab it and be able to pick it up with adrenaline, you know? Because I'm just that kind of a person that wants to be able to, I want to Hulk out is what I want to do. And someone's like, yeah, well, you can take steroids and you can do that. Someone said that you could do like a lot of working out and, you know, it could happen. But, you know, I'm the kind of guy who loves to be able to just grab something and just pick it up and not be afraid of it, you know, killing me, because I know that I have the ability and the strength to do it. I mean, since I'm a Viking, or since I love, the Scandinavian side of things and the Vikings and stuff, Thor is one of my favorite Norse mythology characters, and I really like the story of Thor. But when it comes to Marvel characters, I like the Hulk. So I've always had this character. I'm working on a graphic novel called Jaximus the Berserker. And Jaximus the Berserker is like, he's stronger than Thor and stronger than Hulk. And he's supposed to be the next in line to be Odin, like the Allfather. So Jaximus is basically just this guy who's like 6 feet 9 inches tall. And he's just like, he's like 85% muscle. Yeah, and like 15% fat. And he's just this big burly guy, this big massive guy. He's got muscles like crazy. He's got a penis that goes for days. I mean, his junk when he gets a hard on, his boner's almost 36 inches long. Yeah. That's how big his dick is. It's almost 36 inches long, but it's so wide. It's like 3 inches, circumference. Like, I mean, it can fit into a 3-inch pipe. Yeah, it's like this. It's like the width of a Coke can. And he basically, has the ability to grow and contract and everything else. And Jaximus is this guy who is he's just amazing. And all these guys, he's got the strength of 1,000 men. Yeah, he's like a very powerful guy. Yeah, he's a very powerful dude. And and Jaximus he's a very powerful guy. I mean, he lives his own life. He has this person that comes down with him, and her name is Valkyrie, and she basically, what she does is, she's kind of like a sister, is what she's kind of like. Yeah, she's kind of like a sister kind of like thing. But she's also a bastard daughter to Odin. Jaximus is a bastard son to Odin. She's a bastard daughter. And together, they're supposed to be like the next Odin and Freya. Yeah. But right now, they're just kids. Yeah, I mean, they're just kids in this story, the Jaximus the Berserker story. And Jaximus, I mean, he's just this guy that he basically just goes around and he does what he has to do. And I think it's so funny that Jaximus is just this character, and he just, it's just an amazing character. He just has an amazing story. And, and he's so funny in his own way. Yeah. Does his own thing. Yeah, he lives his own life. So, yeah. I should tell the Jaximus story is what I should be telling, but I actually am feeling a little bit better. So I have this fetish where I love these muscular couples, and I'm talking about Jaximus and I'm talking about Valkyrie, my two characters from my Jaximus the Berserker story. But one of the things that I am talking about in my podcast is this. So if you were to come home and your girlfriend was to Hulk out in front of you, like basically she was to expand her legs, her traps, her arms, her muscles, her chest, everything was to expand in front of you. Would you freak out? Yeah. Would you freak out and run away, or would you help your woman out? Would you take care of your woman? Would you come up to her and say, honey, you look like you're having one of those kind of days. I like what you've done to yourself. I've seen you worked out a little bit. Do you need any help with anything? You know, hoping that she doesn't kick your ass. You know? And, you know, hopefully that everything's fine. Because, you know, some guys would probably see that. They probably would think, yeah, my woman's probably going to kick the shit out of me, or my woman's probably going to beat me up, or something like that. But see, when they do that kind of stuff, when they do that kind of stuff on DeviantArt, when I look at that kind of artwork and stuff, I wish that they would never make it where a woman kicks the crap out of a guy, or where a guy kicks the crap out of a woman, because I don't really think that men want to ever beat their women anymore. I don't really think that it ever, you know, would ever come down to that. I don't think that guys want to beat their women anymore. I don't think that it's a thing anymore. Like, you know, back in the day, like, I mean, guys used to, you know, pat the girl on the ass all the time and say good job or whatever and stuff. And, you know, and I could understand, you know, a woman being afraid that a guy was going to kick the shit out of her or beat her, because it happens, you know. There are relationships where guys beat their women all the time, and I don't know why that is. I don't understand why a guy would ever hit a woman, or ever want to hit a woman, like ever just want to beat the crap out of her. And I never ever think that, you know. I mean, you know, I would rather hit the drywall than hit a woman. And I don't understand why guys ever want to hit their woman. And if you're having relationships with your woman, like if you're having sex with your woman, and, you know, it gets a little rough, and she says, hey, slow it down, then slow it down, you know? You know, just take your woman and just love your woman. I mean, considerably, like, love your woman more than you could ever imagine to love her, because, I mean, she probably will never ever feel that love ever again from anybody else, or she probably will, but she probably won't have that same passion like, you know, she did in the past. But one of the things that men have to realize to themselves is, you know, I don't think that men really, in the first place, ever really wanted to beat their women. I don't think that men ever wanted to ever hit their woman, and I don't think that is a good way to ever have a relationship. And I don't like it when DeviantArt does that, when DeviantArt makes the woman beat the guy up, you know, and hangs him upside down by his feet, and then kicks the shit out of him and makes a punching bag out of him. No, I think people should make love, not war. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, being naked and working out and having a good time and being physically fit and enjoying yourself. Me, yes, I'm a fat ass. I know I'm a fat fuck, but the thing is I'm beauty. I'm beautiful underneath all that fat. I'm a big teddy bear. Yeah. I'm a big teddy bear, man. But I love women, okay? And you know, I do say that I'm bi, but the thing is I'm bi-curious, bro. I mean, I would love to know how, like, guys, you know, get really nice and big and muscular without having to take steroids. But I don't know what they do, and I sure as hell wish that I could figure it out. I've always sat here and tried to figure out how I'm going to get bigger and how I'm going to get myself back on track. You know, but I play a Santa Claus too, so I mean, I'm not really trying to have a six-pack or be shredded. I'm just trying to be jacked. I'm just trying to have muscles and look like a big teddy bear. I basically want to be a teddy bear with muscles. That's kind of what I want to be. But one of my fetishes in my life is I like female muscle growth. I love it when... So I like the movie like She-Hulk, or... Well, I don't like the new girl that they have to play She-Hulk, but I like how girls, when they start growing, they rip out of their clothes, and they get really muscular and they get really strong. They have FMG, which is female muscle growth, which I really find that interesting. But we all know that if a woman started growing in front of you, her skin would probably rip so much that she would probably end up dying. Because, your skin can only do so much. I mean, I'm a person who wants to have I want to be a power couple with somebody. I would love to be on the cover of like a muscle magazine or like a bodybuilding magazine with a wife who's very fit and very, gorgeous and has like that, like that muscular body. I would love to have a power lifter for a wife, is what I would love to have. But still look like she's a power lifter. So like Elisa Cross or a Nadina Crawford or like, Nardina Croft or a Lucy, what's her name? Bolt. Her name is Cindy LeBolt. Yeah, Cindy LeBolt is a really nice girl. There's Linda Steele. There's a lot of nice bodybuilder girls that I really like, and I would really like to work out with one of them. There's this one girl, she doesn't really have like a chest on her, but she works out a lot, and she's in Amazon, and I think her name's like Natasha or something, and she's from Russia. Not Natasha Romanoff. That's the girl from. She's like Natasha Romanoff or something like that. But there's a Russian girl who's an Amazon chick who's just a really beautiful woman. She used to work out a lot, and she used to have like a really great body, and she's still bodybuilding now, and she's really cool. And then there's another girl. Her name is Cindy Spell, and Cindy Spell is her name, and she was a really nice chick, and she's from Atlanta, and she's into bodybuilding, and I'm trying to get myself into bodybuilding. I'm trying to get myself into working out and being better. The one thing I just don't do is I don't lift anymore. And I really need to start lifting. I really need to start getting back into it and everything else. One of the things that I'm trying to do is basically get my junk to show up. But the one thing that, I realized to myself that if you want a bigger package, you also have to have a skinnier stomach. So you have to work your stomach out. But the fucked up thing is that power lifters don't have six packs. No, because they rest the weight on their stomach. And I don't want to have a six pack. I want to have, like a hard stomach, like one of those stomachs that you can punch and not have to, and not worry about, feeling it, because you won't feel it. But I just want to be happy. That's all I want to be, is happy. I want to live my life, be a very, decent guy, and just, be happy. Berserker Jack is who I am, and I really am trying to be happy. I've always wanted to have that Viking look. I've always wanted to be a very big guy and be very happy and enjoy my life. But I've done a lot of stupid things with myself, and I'm just never going to get over it. I'm never going to get it back. And I hope that I can start changing myself around. I think what I'm going to end up doing is I think I'm going to end up getting rid of the Mini Cooper. I think I'm going to. I don't want to turn it into a sleigh though, because once I open it up, it'll be a different story. And put tracks on it, it'll be more open. Yeah, it'll be more open. But I think I can do that with a Bronco. Well, I'm thinking about this though, and I know that this sounds kind of messed up, but because I'm thinking about this because, well, nobody will take the Mini Cooper. It's completely shot. To anybody who looks at it, they're like, yeah, it's shot. It's a car that you can't sell. Because it's painted up and you can't get rid of it and nobody wants to take it. Yeah. But see, in a perfect world, I would have two cars. See, what I really and truly would like to do, and I know that this sounds... See, the Mini Cooper is a little car that's really fun to drive when you're going 100 miles an hour and everything else. But if I were to put tracks on it and actually drive it in the dirt and actually drive it, with tracks on it, it would be just like when Ken Block put the tracks on the Subaru. Yes, that's exactly what it's going to be like. Yep, that's exactly what it's going to be like. It's going to be like when Ken Block put the tracks on the Subaru. And then Ken Block had a truck, and then he had a, and then whatever. It's like with Von Gittin Jr. when Von Gittin Jr. has the Bronco and then he drifts the Mustangs and everything else. He has an off-road vehicle. And see, the thing is that you need yourself an off-road vehicle, Jack. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you are a big guy, and the thing is that you're only going to get bigger, and you need to realize to yourself that driving around in a Mini Cooper is just not your style, because it's a Mini Cooper. But once you cut the sunroof off of that thing, once you cut the sunroof out of that thing and you turn it into a sleigh, once you turn it into a sleigh, dude, it'll look like a pretty badass thing. And I'm going to tell you right now that that's going to be pretty cool. And I think you're just going to have to ride it out. Because, if you could ever come into money, if I ever came into some money and stuff, man, if I ever came into some money, dude, things would change. It would change so much for me. But I just don't know when that's going to happen. I live in Minnesota and I enjoy it. I love being here. I love, being around everything here, and I want to be in the snow, and I want to live my life and enjoy it. And the one thing that I want to do with Tracks Revolution is have, more of a snow patrol team, live more in the, more in the snow. but I also don't want to, I don't want to be able to not have cars. Well, because I look at myself, and I'm a bigger guy, and like I think that, like a person like me would look better in like something like a Dodge Viper or a Charger or a Challenger or a Chrysler 300, something more of a muscle car, kind of along the lines of the vehicles. But it's just one of those things that you have to find your inner chi, and you have to find your inner car, and I haven't been able to find that. The Mini Cooper's been very nice to me. I love it, but it always seems like it has problems. It always seems like it's going to fall apart on me, and that's what I don't really understand. I just sometimes wish that, like, I could figure it out. But I don't know yet. Another thing that really gets me, and I know that I was talking about other stuff, is bodybuilding and stuff. Yeah, I've been talking about bodybuilding tonight, and my fetish for bodybuilder women and stuff like that is that when people look at me and I tell them that I have a Mini Cooper, they laugh about it. Because they're like, well, how do you fit in a Mini Cooper? And I'm like, you just get inside of it. I fit inside my Mini Cooper just fine. It's just that I have a lot of issues with having the Mini Cooper because, it's a small car. Everybody said to me, like, Jack, you're a kind of person that should have like a muscle car, like a Dodge Charger or like a truck or like a Ram Charger or something, something big, like an SUV, like a Durango. But see, I don't like Durangos. No. I like a Bronco, but I like the old Broncos, like the old OJ Bronco or the Ram Charger. Yeah. I wish we'd quit calling it the OJ Bronco, but everybody knows what you're talking about when you call it the OJ Bronco. But I wish they would make a Ram Charger. I wish they would make a Ram Charger. I would love to find one. A Dodge Ram Charger, like the last year, like an 85. I'd love to have one of those. Because a Ram Charger is basically like a Bronco or a Blazer. Yeah, like a Chevy Blazer, but Dodge made it. Yeah. And I don't know what my thing is, but I think I'm a Dodge man, dude. I don't know what it is. I love Dodge. Yeah, I love Dodge vehicles or Chrysler products because for some odd reason, Chrysler and Dodge have just made America, like, they've made these cars just so amazing. I looked at the new Charger that's coming out for 2026, and God, is that going to be a sexy fucking car? Yeah, it's going to be amazing, dude. I mean, the RT is going to be amazing. It's going to be all-wheel drive. Yeah. I don't like how they call it the Scat Pack, but yeah, because it sounds like I've never liked it called the Scat Pack because scat is shit. Yeah, scat's another word for shit. So I don't like how they call it the Shit Pack Edition. Yeah, I don't like how they call it that. But the RT's nice. So I mean, get an RT and put an O2 on the side of it and bring back the General A, man. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it'd be nice. I don't know, man. I live my life every day like I try to figure out what I'm supposed to do with the life I have now, and it just keeps on freaking disappearing. I just don't know what else I'm supposed to do anymore. My sides always hurt. My heart always hurts. I just feel like I'm just supposed to just curl up into a ball and just die and never be around anymore. I mean, yesterday, I got so pissed off at God. I just got so mad because I'm just so afraid of being a loser and not living my life and enjoying what I have. I just feel like I'm never going to go anywhere. I'm just going to be stuck in Minnesota and I'm never going to get anywhere. That's how I feel. But I've never really understood. I've never understood the possibilities of life. I've never realized to myself that what I got is not a lot. There's people who rely on me to be happy and who want me to be around every day and to want me to have a great life and to keep on going. And then there's people I don't even talk to who are supposed to be the ones that are supposed to love me and they're not even around. I haven't even talked to my mom and dad for about a week or a week or two or whatever, and I don't know what their thing is. I don't know why they don't talk to me like they talk to their daughters. I just sometimes feel like my parents just don't want me around anymore. They just want me to pay them back and then never talk to them ever again. I just sometimes don't understand what I ever did to deserve that kind of thing with my parents, that kind of life. I mean, I tell people that, I'm totally different than my parents, and I am. I'm not anything like my mom and dad. I'm different. I live a very different and subtle life. I mean, I go to work every day, Monday through Friday, and have the weekends off. And all I want to do is, when I have the weekends off, all I want to do is just go home, lay there in bed, and think, the hell did I do to deserve this? What kind of life is this? Why is this not a fun life? Why is this so different than everybody else's? I've never understood that. There are times in my life and there are things in my life where I sit there and I think, God, I could have been a contender. I could have been something better. I could have done something better with my life. But some days I just am glad that I'm eking by and I'm getting through, and some days I wish that I was a multi-millionaire and I was helping out people all the time. But sometimes I just don't know what I need to do with my life anymore. Some days I feel like the door is wide open and I have to go through it. But other days I just sit there and I'm just like, nope, can't do it. I can't think about it. Can't take it. Oh, shit. Some days I just don't know what I ever did, you know. But other days, it'll just turn around and rear its big, fat, ugly head at me and laugh. And I think that's what a lot of people do to me, is they laugh at me. And it doesn't bother me. I don't care anymore. Because I've taken my beating, and I'm ready to just keep on going. You know, I just live every day to just want to keep on going. Most people, they want to buy pull tabs, and they want to try to win that, you know, that money, and they want to be happy about it, when all I want to do is play the lottery and win over like $50 million. Yeah. And just see what it's like to be a millionaire once. Yeah. I would love to see what it's like to be a millionaire. You know? I mean, we've all sat there and be like, I want to be a millionaire so fucking bad. Yeah, we've always said that. We've always, after we've heard that Bruno Mars song, I mean, we've always wanted to be a millionaire. You know? Would it change our lives? Who knows? Would it make us happy? Until the money ran out. But I'm just thinking the reason why I've never been a millionaire is because I don't think I'm ready for it. I don't think I would even know where to start, you know? But I would just like to pay off debts and just get my life changed around, because the thing about the whole thing about winning the lottery is that, you know, if I won the lottery and if I won like over $10 million, if I won over $10 million, I would pay off my debts. I would help Joe and her family get home, you know, and because that's what I said I would do. Yeah, I'm still going to live up to that, you know. And then I would, you know, pay off my car and then get another car and turn the Mini Cooper into a sleigh, because I said I was going to do that. And that's what I want to do. And as soon as I do that, I'm fine. Now, am I going to buy like a big thing of land, or am I going to, you know, invest in a new house? No, I don't want that. I like my little apartment that I have. You know, I would pay rent for a whole year maybe and see what it's like to not have to pay rent. You know, because I'd love to drop a big $9,000 you know, rent check to my landlord and be like, here you go for a whole year, bro. And he'd be like, wow, you know. Because it would be different. It would be something I've never done, you know. Or walked into a dealership with a big wad of cash and bought a car that I've always wanted, you know. I don't know. Because it's always dreams, you know. It's always dreams, and you wonder if these dreams are ever going to come true and you're ever going to be happy. I mean, it's kind of funny, you know, when you work at night and you work for, you drive, you know, when you drive, you work at night and you sit here and think to yourself, you know, there's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, there's got to be a positive outlook on life for somebody to, to change their mood, to make them feel better about themselves. But some people just take it one day at a time, and they never ever, feel like they got something to look forward to. Some people are just like, yeah, I'm just going to take it one day at a time, and that's how life is. Who knows, man? I sit here every day and I think to myself, am I ever going to see the other side of that? Am I going to see the gold at the end of the rainbow? Am I ever going to get my wish? Am I ever going to see a shooting star and get my wish from it? And sometimes I don't even know what would happen. Like if I won the lottery, would I just have a heart attack and die right there, or will I get to enjoy it? I mean, because your whole life can change in a snap of a finger. I mean, you can go from being the happiest guy in the world to being laying on a gurney and your heart not working anymore. I mean, you can go to a baseball game, you can watch your team win, or you can take a fly ball to the face and have to go to the ER. There's all sorts of things that'll happen in this world that'll be like a final destination. And nobody ever knows what's going to happen. And everybody sits there and says to the man upstairs, God, give me the chance to keep on going for as long as I live. And keep me happy every breath that I take, day by day and day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. So my final thought tonight, and my final thing that I'm going to say, because I'm getting to about, getting on for an hour, I just want to say that, life is one of those things that you got to take serious. And if you take it too serious, sometimes you'll never get out alive. But you'll sit there and you'll think to yourself, if you don't take it serious, it might be over. Sometimes people live their lives. They enjoy it. They want it to be happy. And then they don't have it anymore. I just want to tell people to continue to be positive. Yesterday, I lost my shit. I didn't feel very good. And I got mad. And then time went on and I started feeling better. But every day is a new day, baby. And it just has to be done. I mean, every day people live their lives. Because if they're not careful, their life will be over. So yeah, enjoy what you got. Because you don't know what you got until it's gone. Thank you very much for watching the Berserker Naked Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Claus. Have a great night.